Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with my final update before the finale for my project level up. Also, I have announced some different videos, but we are also the first day of vlogmas. This year I'm going to post a video every single day in December, so it's always the 1st of December, and I'm very excited about it. I have been planning this for a while now, and I think it's going to be really fun for me to post videos in December. December is kind of my favorite time of year when it comes to planning videos and videos in general, because you have some of my favorite videos then. You have all the finales, you have all the stats like how I've done with my pan for the year, how I've done with like my usage, all the products that I finished, all my goals for the year, everything like that I cover in December. So I'm very, very excited. And obviously with Vlogmas, there's quite a lot of videos, but a lot of them were already easy picks. And the rest are filled with other ideas. So I have actually planned out a video every single day so far. I haven't filmed everything yet, so I'm gonna have to work really hard to get this done, but I'm really excited about it in general. However, like I said, today we are gonna focus on my project Level Up. This is a project that I created last year, so beginning of 2022, and it's kind of like a combination of no pan left behind, pan palette, Pan Those Eyeshadows, that kind of stuff. Where for each level you use every single shade a certain amount of times and hit a certain amount of pans. So for level 1, that would be 1 pan and 1 use per shade. Level 2 would be 2 uses per shade and 2 pans, and so on. I was last month at level 4, but since we are close to the end of the year and I ideally want to complete level 5 this year, I did actually roll in my level 5 palettes too. So I have 2 palettes to share with you today. Both of them are actually Natasha Denona mini palettes, and it's quite funny that I rolled these two back to back. But the first one is my Natasha Denona mini retro palette. That's my level 4, so I'm going to cover that one first. But before I jump into the palette, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So, like I said, the first palette that I have to talk about is my Natasha Denona mini retro palette. Let me put it up here. This is what it looked like last month. So you can see I already had 3 out of the 4 pans, and I had actually already hit my usage goal. Since then, I have kept working on the one shade that I wanted to pan on, which is the shade Vintage Taupe. And this is what my palette looks like today. A little sneak peek there, but let's go through each shade in order. So I'm just going to cover the shades one by one because I haven't used most of them, but I'm going to cover how many times I used them anyway. The first 2 shades in the palette right here, I have used 15 times each, and as you can see, I pan on both of those. But like I said, 15 uses each. This shade here is the one that I decided not to focus on, but I used this one 6 times still, but I have not used it since the last update. Then just to cover the last one as well before covering my focus shade, this is the shade Pixie, and this one I've also used 15 times before pan, so 15 times seems to be the magic number when it comes to shimmers in this palette. So yeah, those are the shades that I had already hit my goal on by last month, and I haven't reached for any of those. However, like I said, the shade that I have been focusing on is Vintage Taupe, and hopefully you can see there the little glimmering pan, because I was able to hit pan on this one. And as of the last update, I had already used this one 10 times, and it took me 10 additional uses to pan on it for a total of 20. So yeah, 20 uses, which is really, really good. This was quite a useful shade. It was quite good for my skin tone. I could use a lot of it anytime I used it, so I think it went a little bit faster than maybe some of the other mattes. And I'm a little bit worried about the next palette, but we'll cover that in a second. So 20 uses on that shade. Again, for this palette, we had 15 uses on each of the shimmer suit pan, and then the matte took me 20 uses. So that is where I am with my Natasha Denona mini retro palette. And of course, I have leveled up, which is really great because that means I can fully focus on my level 5 palette now. So let's move on to that one. And like I said, I rolled a different Natasha Denona mini palette for that. And the palette I rolled was the Natasha Denona mini gold palette. Again, this is what it looked like last month. I didn't have much use on this one. I actually got this one as a hand-me-down from my friend, but you can see there was a little bit of usage. I think I used every single shade once in this palette for like a no pan left behind, but then the previous usage was from her. So overall, not too much use, but that is what it looked like. So I've been focusing on this one a little bit, not as much as other things, but I'm definitely getting there. And this is what this palette looks like today. Comparison pic is just up there for simplicity's sake. But let's go through again each shade in order. So just to cover these, my goal is to use every single shade 5 times and then hit pan on 5 shades. However, as there's 5 shades only in this palette, I need to hit pan on every single eyeshadow in here, so the usage goal doesn't really apply. I mean, as long as it takes more than 5 uses to hit pan, that is fine, which, you know, Natasha Nona, it should definitely do. So yeah, I need to hit pan on all of these, but again, let's go through each shade in order. So first up, we have the shade Lodge, which is this kind of brown shade right here. And I don't know if you can see a dip or anything. This is my second most used shade, and I have used this one 7 times. I'm a little bit worried that this needs more of a dip forming. I definitely think this one will take more than 20 uses, like the one in the retro palette. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about this one. It is a brown, but it's quite a cool tone brown, which isn't my favorite. I thought it was going to be more one-toned than, like, I feel like looking at it in the palette, I thought it could be more one-toned. However, you know, it works in a lot of looks, but it's not my kind of go-to shade. But I think I should be able to hit pan on this one. Definitely, that's one of the mattes that I'm less worried about. So that is the shade Lodge. Next to that, we have the shade Dark Sepia, which you can see right here. So far, I have used this one 15 times, and as you can see, I hit pan on it. It's crazy because every single shimmer that I've been working on from Natasha Nona has taken me exactly, well, I mean, from these mini palettes, has taken me exactly 15 times to hit pan on. With this shade, I actually pan on it today doing this look. I actually used it all over my lid as a base, and then blended into my crease, and then I topped it with a shimmery black and a glitter on the corner, as well as, like, I used this one on my lower lash line too. I've used this one 10 times on my eyes in the past month, and then the last 5 uses I actually used it on my nails, and I really, really like this one as a nail polish. I did this one like 3 days ago, I think, and it's holding up really, really well. You can see what it looks like right there. Really, really nice color, very fitting for the time of year. So I used this one once like that, and then, like I said, 10 uses on my eyes. And the way I used it mainly was as an outer corner shade or as a liner. But today, and I think one more day, I used it all over my lid as a base. So that is the shade Dark Sepia. The next shade in the palette is the shade Dior, which is this one here. And so far, I've only used this one once, so I have a lot more use to go on this one. It has a little bit of a dip. I think this one was the most used shade in this palette since before. And it's also a more flaky formula, so I think it's going to go a little bit quicker. Who knows how long it's going to take to pan on, but that is the shade Dior. Then we have the shade Bia, which is the next green shade, or like the next matte rather. And it's also the first of like the proper greens. And this one I've also only used once. There's a little bit of disturbance in the pan. Honestly, like the dip in this one is almost the same as this one. And I don't know if that's because there's been more use in this one prior, or if it's just like a looser pressed shade. I think time will tell when I continue using this one, and if that's the case. But yeah, that only has one use so far, so not great, but I have at least used it. With the shade, I had a very, very similar eyeshadow in my Panda palette, like a Franklin palette. So if you're following that project, you might know which one I mean. And I have finished that one up, so hopefully this one I can focus on more now, but I'm going to wear a lot of green looks coming up now in December. And then lastly in the palette, we have this one here, which is the shade Anthea, I think. And this one I have used 3 times. You can see I have a good dip going in the shade. It is a really, really nice shimmer. I like using this on all over my lid and then topping it with more of a sparkly shade. But yeah, I have used this one 3 times, and I think that one might be the next one I pan on. So that is where I am with my Natasha Nona gold palette, or mini gold palette. Again, I'm going to have to pan on all of these shades in the next month to hit my goal. Again, we're on the 1st of the month. And I'm going to post, since I have my schedule, I'm going to post my finale for this project on the, let me check. I'm actually going to post it on the 30th of December. So I have 29 days from today to hit pan on all of these shades. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think the 2 mattes I'm going to have to use a lot, almost like every single day this month, which is going to be a lot. But I am up for the challenge, and I did say earlier that I was really, really like trying to complete level 5 this year, because last year I wasn't able to. Of course, if I don't do that, that's absolutely fine. I will reset the project at the beginning of the year. That's what I do every year. I reset all of my projects. Yeah, I usually reset all my projects at the beginning of the year. In like my rolling project plan and stuff like that, sometimes I do roll things over, but I always reset my project in January. So I'm going to do the same with this project. So we'll see how far I get with this palette in the next month. Let me know what you think I can do with this one. Do you think I can hit pan on all of the shades remaining? Do you think I can maybe just hit pan on the shimmers and then the matte will be more of a struggle? Do you think maybe I will just have one shade left? Let me know what you think, because I am not quite sure yet myself what I'm going to do. But yeah, that is where I'm with this palette, and that is also it for this update. Of course, I'm not going to roll anything else in because we are in the last month of the year, and also because I already have level 5 that I'm working on. So yeah, that's just all I'm going to work on in this project. It is quite good because it's a very small palette. It only has 5 shades. I don't have to put like a focus on a lot of different eyeshadows because I'm also trying to finish up my palette as much as possible. I'm trying to use every single remaining eyeshadow in my collection. So I'm up for quite a task in the next month. But that is it for today, you guys. I really, really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye, guys.